Hello, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of my cancer scare adventure. Hopefully this is the last part. In college, my gay best friend and I joked that if we hadn't found love by 40, we'd have a baby with each other. 20 years later, I'm pulling the ripcord. From deciding on solo motherhood to choosing IVF, I'm Meredith, and this is the backup plan. I had my biopsy. I don't have the results, so it won't be the last part. I'll give you another one, but let's just keep it to 3. Let's just have it be a 3-fer and move on with our lives, because that's all I want to do. I had an emotional breakdown yesterday. I will say, for context, I had my biopsy on Thursday the 25th, and today is Sunday the 28th. Saturday the 27th, I had a pretty big emotional breakdown. I'll get into that later. Let's talk about the biopsy first. It wasn't fun. I can't recommend it. I am tired, and that's why I'm recording this part from my bedroom with almost no makeup on and my cat without my lights and my things, and because I don't care. I don't care. It's been rough. It's been a rough couple of days, but I want to let you guys know how the biopsy went, so here we go. I arrived early on Thursday morning, not as early as I've had to go in for egg retrieval and my foot stuff, but it was about 8:30 or whatever is when I had to be there. I am being treated at Hoag in Newport, which is a gorgeous hospital. It is like right on a cliff and it overlooks the water. Check-in is really easy. I like when you go to a hospital and things are like very clearly laid out for, like, we know what the guest experience is going to be, right? The patient experience, I guess I should say. Although I felt like a guest. It was kind of hotel-y. They have a little check-in desk. You go in, they give you like a little packet of papers, and then they send you to your next location. For me, it's like right next to the check-in desk, which is nice. I check in with the ladies there. They give me a little beeper. And then they called me in like 10 minutes later. I was directed to a special mammography room, which seemed to have a little bit more. I know the layout seemed a little bit bigger than the other ones I've been in. Same machine, but different like accessories. And I realized when I was looking at the wall, like they had like 7 different shelves of different boob squishing devices. It was wild. There are many ways to squish a boob, just so you know. The room was freezing. Thankfully, they had heated blankets, and the whole procedure was explained to me in great detail. The thing that I was most grateful about was that there was a seat. I was very nervous that I was going to have to stand at the mammogram machine like I have for the past 2 mammograms. I've gone from having 0 mammograms to 3 in a week. So lucky. Except no, I am lucky because the imaging is great. Anyway, I was very nervous that I was going to have to stand up while they did this whole procedure. Seeing the chair in there was a great relief. And the nurse brought to me this little paperweight that showed the 4 different coils that they were going to be placing inside of me, because that will determine for future reference, like where the lesion was. You know, if I have to have it removed, they know exactly where to go for it, or I don't know, just for posterity's sake. Now, this morning, I got an email from Hoag that said test results, and I was very excited. When I opened up the MyChart app, I don't know how many of you use it out there, it wasn't test results that they uploaded. They just uploaded the summary of everything that I went through. So luckily, I don't have to remember what I did. I just got to read it back. So what exactly did I have done? Well, it was a stereotactically guided core needle biopsy of an area of architectural distortion in the upper outer quadrant of the left breast middle third. The patient was seated and the left breast was compressed in the Selenia Dimensions mammography unit. Digital scout and 3D tomosynthesis images of an area of architectural distortion in the upper outer quadrant of the left breast middle third were obtained. The lesion to be biopsied was localized, marked, and targeted. The skin was prepped with chlorhexidine. 1% lidocaine was used for local anesthesia. 1% lidocaine with epinephrine was used as needed for deep anesthesia surrounding the lesion. So let's talk about that process. This mammogram machine that they put me into, they squeezed like so much harder this time than they had the past 2 times. And were I designing mammogram machines, I don't know that I would place a little marker that tells you how tight it is, like right in front of where the patient is being squeezed, because I'm watching and I'm like, oh, it's 23 pounds of force. Oh, now it's 25 pounds of force. Like, it's kind of a weird brain space to put you in. So they got me in there. I had to kind of get repositioned once or twice. When they gave me the anesthesia, like at this point, I've had so many different shots and I've had so many different like medical procedures happen to me. It's really not, I'm a tough cookie, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't really have a hard time with this stuff. I don't have a hard time with needles. I don't have a hard time with blood draws. And a lot of times I just disassociate. Like I will just stare at a point on the wall and like zone in on that. And that's the place that I live for a little bit. Oh my God, he's being so cute. Ugh, my boy. They were really great about every time I felt a little bit of a pinch or something, they would give me more anesthesia. And I would advocate for anybody watching this in any kind of medical situation to be honest with your doctors about what you're feeling. Because I think a lot of times, especially as women, we'll just go, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. And it's not. And you can have more medication. It's okay. So I was very honest. I was like, it's pinching now. The more they went in with this machine, the more pinching that I felt. So let's get into what that machine procedure was, shall we? A 3 millimeter skin nick was made using a number 11 blade. A Brevera 9-gauge probe was inserted from lateral approach and advanced into the tissue to be biopsied using computer guidance. The machine cutter was then activated, tissue cut, excised, and transported through the probe. A total of 6 core specimens were obtained. These were placed in a container pre-filled with holding medium and were sent to pathology for histologic analysis. Okay, so I'm going to show a picture of what they pulled out of my body because I did ask if I could take a picture of it. So here it comes. If you don't want to see it, scoot ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Isn't that gross? Oh. While they were excising this material, it's a vacuum assisted probe. So like there was like this weird, like, I mean, it sounded like a dental drill kind of. And again, I'm a tough cookie, but by the time they were taking that 6th one, I was like, I don't feel very good. And they were like, okay. So they documented that too. Don't worry about it. The patient experienced a vasovagal episode and remained hemodynamically stable. The patient otherwise tolerated the procedure well. I have beef with that. I did not have a vasovagal response. I've never had a vasovagal response, ever. There's one time that I had blood taken and I hadn't had anything to eat and I felt a little like drifty afterwards. But otherwise, I mean, I came out of the machine, they laid me down, they placed an ice pack on the back of my head and on my forehead as well. They lifted my legs and gave me time to like kind of cool down and calm down. And I felt better. But they were like, some people just have a reaction to needles. And I was like, girls, I just gave myself 100 shots over the course of the last 2 months. Like, I've dealt with so much blood coming out of me. I've dealt with so much stuff going into me. I've watched them take blood out of my arm like every other day for a total of like 2 weeks. This is tough. That was hard. That wasn't fun. I am responding to that. I'm not having a vasovagal response. They were like, you might want to mention this to doctors in the future. Just let them know that you have a vasovagal response. And I was like, I don't. I take umbrage with that. But after that, they did another mammogram because I hadn't had enough boob squishes that day, just to make sure everything was in the right place. And I was sent on my merry way. They wrapped me like super securely when I left. I had to keep that on for 24 hours. I couldn't shower for 24 hours. I came home that day and I was really hungry when I got home and then took a really long nap and then woke up and ate, watched a little TV and went back to sleep. So just lots of sleep that first day. People asked me how I was feeling the next day, friends that knew that I was going through this. And I was like, I don't know how to explain this, but like my boob feels woozy. I personally felt jet lagged because I had the Olympic opening ceremonies on in real time. So I watched the sunset there at about like noon here. So my brain was kind of woozy from that. And also having 6 little nuggets sucked out of me the day before. Other than that, like it's been fine. I feel like my right boob is having like sympathy pains. I was also supposed to start my period like a week ago and it still hasn't come through. If I were in different circumstances, I'd be concerned about that or excited about that. But now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I think my body's just very confused at this point. So I've got like weird hormonal feelings in my ladies in addition to actual like pain. But it's really not that bad. Like when I bend over, I would say that my left boob feels like not great because there is a little thing that's implanted there and like burrowing into the skin. So I've kept something on. Like I have a really tight camisole on right now just to kind of keep things. It's not like I need a lot of support, but I do find myself like walking around like this a lot. And I mean, emotionally, I had a pretty shitty breakdown yesterday. I've had a lot of friends reach out and have been really sweet about this and checked in on me. And I have had friends that I would expect to check in on me or have said that they were going to check in on me and then didn't. And when I text them about what I've got going on or how I feel, the response has been lukewarm at best. And, you know, I'm somebody who puts out a lot for the friends that I really care about. I will drop my life and run to their aid. And we learn in life that there are some people we shouldn't do that for. It's a shitty lesson to learn, especially when you're learning it at a time of emotional vulnerability. And logically, I see that and understand that. But emotionally, I'm still catching up. So I had a reaction to that, which led to kind of a corkscrew of a number of other things. You know, am I financially prepared for the life I'm preparing?
Am I ever going to catch up salary-wise? Am I being a good daughter? Am I being a good soon-to-be mother? Am I a good friend?
All of these things, and I cried really hard about it. I got frustrated with my mom because I felt like she wasn't supporting me, and then she felt bad because she wants to support me but doesn't know how because, again, tough cookie. I'm not an easy person to be around. And I know that because I'm not the easiest person to comfort. And I think a lot of that comes down to really not knowing what kind of comfort I want or need. And I think about that a lot, and I don't have answers yet. And I would like to have them soon, but, you know, therapy and journaling and thinking and talking it out are all that we can do in the meantime. So got out of the house yesterday, just went for a little like day trip down the coast a little bit, spent some time by the water, and came home feeling better. And today got up early and I cleaned these windows that you can see above me. And I just did some bathroom cleaning and stuff like that. Probably not totally advised because I am still healing, but I needed a little bit of cleanup time just to clean up my life too. You know, I'd like to start Monday feeling fresh and ready. By the time you see this, I will have my results from the biopsy. You can reach out if you'd like. I may not answer, but hopefully the next video I put out is about how I've already moved past that and we are closer to the IVF implantation. I would say that like sending the message to my doctor about putting off the implantation another month was one of the more difficult things because like I've said a million times, I just want to get to the next step. And even though I'm like dying to get to that next step, I recognize there are still a lot of hurdles. Like really hope this first implantation works. It's like a 50% chance it'll work. And then I'm going to be so nervous about miscarriage. I think I am now. Maybe I'll feel differently when I'm in it, but I've recognized how many more steps there still are to go. And I don't want to stop in the middle of that race to start this other race now, you know? I just thought when I started this podcast that I would be like in motherhood now. And I'm not. We're coming up on a year of me making content about this process. At least I'm honest, right? You're seeing it all. Isn't that exciting? thank you so much for being here and listening and watching and providing support. Thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe. And like this video, do the things that you do on a YouTube channel, because we're still running races here, guys. And someday, soon, we're all going to be together and celebrating good news rather than hoping for it. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you next week.
The Backup Plan is created, produced, and hosted by me, Meredith Kate. Julian Hagans is my co-producer. You can find us on social media at Backup Plan Pod. The best place to get updates is to sign up for our newsletter at backupplanpod.com, where we also post all episodes, show notes, and transcripts. Thank you for listening.